Okay.
The button has been pushed.
Woohoo! Nicely done, sir.
What's up, Mrs. Ryan?
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy. Hi, don't you mean hi? Hi. Hi, look, we're all having hi. Actually, that's not actually true, except you, maybe, just for medication purposes.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Hi, Mrs. Ryan.
Hi,
Let's see
hi.
here. Get myself all situated.
Thanks for my lights. I really like those little star drizzles you put up.
Well, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's not at all what I expected. It doesn't matter. They're bigger than I expected. But yes, I put them up anyway because I thought you would like them. I'm so glad you do. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today is Wednesday, December 19th, 2018. My name is Jay Ryan. This is Nicole Ryan. We are the Ryans. And this is tonight's show. Mrs. Ryan, how are you doing today? I'm going there.
I'm doing exponentially better.
Yeah, you seem it. You're carrying your cane around. You've got it for safety purposes almost.
It's good for balance sometimes. So
You mean like I almost said like an astronaut. That's not right. The tightrope. What do you call that? Aeronaut. What do you call that person? Trapeze.
A trapeze walker. Yeah, a little bit.
No, you lose the circus, you lose the trapeze. That's how that goes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. And I ran into a friend downstairs when I went outside this morning. It sparked my whole day different. So.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, it unexpected, and I had no idea it would be that powerful. But.
Well, that sounds lovely.
Incredible. Yeah.
Do we know who this person is?
Downstairs.
Oh, that's nice. Person who.
Private.
Yeah. Literally lives down below us.
I love that lady.
Yeah, me too. Well, you guys went a little bit deeper. We moved in here and you didn't know each other, but you had sort of parallel old lives, similar old lives. You both did similar things in the similar industry with similar people, and
I literally knew a lot of the same people, and so like it's a weird parallel. Yeah, you're right.
So it's nice. It's an industry, but we live in an industry area. This is like the Studio City area of Toluca Lake, whatever it is, North Hollywood. But so there's a lot of people a lot of industry people in the building.
Yeah,
it's safe to say. Okay, hellos. Let's see. I wanted to talk very quickly about the Kevin Rooney episode from yesterday. It went up so late, and I'm regretful about that. But at least it is up, and I thought it was great. It meant so much to me. Having him here and doing what we did yesterday is one of the reasons I wanted to do this show. Does that make sense? It's not just, I geeked out a little bit, but also we cataloged some awesome stories from a guy that concocted them. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I thought about it when I was posting it this morning. That's all I could think of was like, it's a piece of history that like is so neat to have.
He's going to get to do all of his old comedy stuff, or he got to do all of his old comedy stuff at Vitello's last night, but he wouldn't have gotten to tell any of those stories there or have gotten to, have that kind of long... I don't know. It just really, really tickled me. There was some upload problems with YouTube and whatever, so that's why it went up late. So probably people watched it after his show at Vitello's, but you know what? That's fine too. But huge thanks to Kevin Rooney for coming in for that, and we're gonna get you up in the hills too. I've already reached out to Mark Brazil too. We're gonna make that happen. And the car's over at Leno's shop. I'm sure Leno will come. Like the whole thing just makes sense.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
We'll do maybe a little like private ride thing.
Cool.
Yeah, it just makes sense to me. And
his face lit up when you guys talked about that stuff, so I really can't wait for that to happen. I
felt it live time, but seeing it back, it was like confirmed, and I was like, oh, this is definitely happening. Yeah, all right, good. So I wanted to talk about that, and that's really it for me. You have anything?
Well,
the new stuff.
Just
okay,
that stuff.
I have a video to play.
Okay.
That came in the other day, and I wasn't going to play it because it's... there's a couple reasons I wasn't going to play it. They'll probably be obvious. It's a little bit long. It's not very polished. And I'm pretty sure this person's high as a kite, so that's why I decided to play it today. But the message is fantastic, and it's very complimentary to us. And it's the first actual, I'm going to call it, I didn't make a card for it, but we should call it Jazzy J Confessional. Because it
Oh
reminded
my
me of like the
gosh.
real world.
Okay.
In the old days, we're like, oh, they're just a person in the room, you know. All
That's
right,
fantastic.
so I don't have a card for it, but here it is. Roll it, Hal.
What up, Jay and Nicole? It's Jazzy J here, coming at you with the counterpoint, East Coast speed. I just wanted to share a little bit about what my night went through tonight. I had a great night. I shared some great experience with people that reminded me the important things about life, and I just wanted to share those with you guys really quick. It's important to remember what people mean to you, and even if you fight, even if you go through bad times, that remember what matters. Remember it brought you together, and remember the reasons why you came together. And I have people who I've had come and go in my life that I wish would stay, and nights like tonight make me remember that even if they've come out for a moment, it's for a reason, and you remember what that reason is, and it brings you together, and you remind yourselves why you were important in each other's lives from the get-go, and why you still are. And those are moments and feelings that you can't explain and you can't take back. And I will cherish those, and I hope that everyone has those moments and has those feelings with people that remind you why you are here, and why you were doing what you're doing, and why you were friends with the people you were friends with. And I hope everyone has those memories they can share. That's all I had to say. So sorry about it, but I hope that helps. All right, Jazzy J, thanks.
What a nice, sweet girl.
Yeah, you see what I was saying, sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think necessarily every synapse connected there to the way that she intended them to, but for sure we could definitely get the message of what she was trying to say there, and so that's why I felt I think she needed to do that. Mm-hmm. And then I think she needs to see it back and know that other people have seen it too, and then she will, I think, feel something different inside. It's weird how that stuff happens.
It is, but I salute her for doing it.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
It's a weird, tricky thing to do, and I just love her for doing it and being vulnerable and sharing it.
Yeah, I think
with
that's
us.
probably part of the high part. I think that she was, and by the way, I don't know that she was high there, but I'm just assuming. It's almost like that breaks the barriers down, and you then have the confidence to go do whatever the heck it is. Mm-hmm. Somehow. A lot of times those moments just get erased, whatever. But if we do air it, and then it does go out there,
you
then
have
all
to
of
look at it.
Exactly. Then it's real, and then it doesn't just go away, and then it's good.
Yes.
Yeah. Growth
Jazz,
can happen.
Jazz,
Nice.
let me know. Let me know how it goes.
All right, Mrs. Ryan, time to ask the question that's on everyone's mind.
Da, 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 da.
What's going on?
Well, all right. I'll leave my coffee for now. I do have a bunch of questions for our guest today.
Well, that's a different part of the show.
I know, it's totally different.
This is What's Going On, Mrs. Ryan.
I know. All right. A 58-year-old collector in Israel started a salt and pepper shaker museum.
Bravo. What else are you going to do with them? If you've collected them, why not display them?
Totally. I think it's super neat. I loved his quote that said, everyone, meaning Faith, everyone lives happily in this museum. I liked it.
People are going to live in this museum?
Yeah, I thought that was weird. I wonder if it was a translation thing. He's in Israel. Like, maybe it was oops, ding, ding.
Correct.
I am correct. But the sentiment of that he's like finding something that he has a passion for, and that he's sharing it with people so that people drop their nonsense of like cultural divides and like just
well, if
go
people
have
go
fun.
to this salt and pepper museum.
People are going. Like it's.
Oh, all right. Gee
yeah,
whiz.
I heard it. Jeez Louise.
Oh, okay.
The oldest one is from the early 1700s, 1703. The most expensive one is worth $17,000, and there's 37,000 pairs of salt and pepper shakers.
Oh my gosh! Do you know what that means?
Joke.
It's just 72 and change thousand individuals. That's a lot.
So many. Well, okay. I made a note. It's from Reuters. Not BuzzFeed or anything. Whatever. I looked at a lot of my stuff yesterday. A lot of it's like...
Oh, I see. Because of yesterday. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So this comes in from Reuters.
Okay. This comes in from business magazine.
Now we know our
It's called
source.
Business Insider.
Now we know our source. Good job.
Do you know a lot about how fusion works and how it is created?
You don't really believe in all that cold fusion mumbo jumbo,
It's
do you?
not cold fusion.
I know. It's a quote from a movie
Oh,
that only Danbury Kaz is going to get, but he's laughing very hard right now. There's a movie called The Saint, and I don't. But all I could think of when I read this article was the movie The Saint. But I would like you to talk about it. We're talking about building stars in China, right? Whoops. Go ahead.
It is in China. It's not about necessarily building stars, but they did create a test factor thing to test how to create fusion so that it can be a potential source of energy.
Potentially, like global, endless.
Because their product, basically what is created, is 6 times hotter than the sun. And if that can be harnessed, it could potentially replace or like be used in place of like fossil fuels and energy, and like you don't have to like leave something outside to be solar charged. And
What
blah,
is
blah,
the
blah.
sun also known as? You did it.
Is it a star?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're building stars in China.
Okay.
They're building an energy source that's 6 times.
Deeper into the article, it
hotter
says that
than the
this is
sun.
just a test, though. They haven't
Yeah,
gotten
it only went like 6 seconds or something like that before
10
it burned
seconds, and then it burned out, and it cost more energy to run it than it created.
But
So
if
it's
they could
just a
make it
test.
work, then theoretically it would. This is
Totally.
the R&D phase.
R&D, and I thought it was super neat. But what I thought was really neat, and the reason that this test facility is happening is that, okay, I'm going to read this so I don't screw it up. Fusion occurs. Jeez, did it anyway. Fusion occurs.
I love how seriously you're taking it, though.
Fusion occurs when 2 lightweight atoms combine into a single larger one, and that creates energy. So if you turn up the heat of where they are, it creates them to be more jumpy, and they are more apt to run into each other and create energy.
It does make sense. You agitate them.
Yes.
Just like people, as above, so below.
I know. I didn't want to say it. I was like, oh, this is the perfect metaphor for how I'm jumping. Okay. Next article. Okay. Seriously, total serious question. Men are XY and women are XX chromosomally, right?
I always get that screwed up. I think that's right. We're all women until
you become a dude.
I think so, right?
Okay, I think
believe
so. Here's the thing.
The truth is, I always screw it up, though. So if I think it's that, it's probably the other one.
Here, I usually screw it up too, but this article helped me because it didn't. While it didn't specifically delineate that, the point of the article is to say that women, it's specifically noted in them, their X chromosomes deactivate cell by cell as they get older, to kind of get in the way and stop the replication of improper cells, like any kind of deformities or whatever. So they, until now, have not had the sophistication and technology to track it, like where the X chromosomes express themselves in the gene area, like whatever, however it shows up. But they're finding now that as women get older, their X chromosome expression decreases. I thought it was super neat. If it's broadened out, and if scientists zoom out, and if people zoom out enough, like it's really applicable to a lot of different body systems.
Okay.
And you can find the expression of X chromosomes in a lot of ways, and it helps to show like how gender differences are really linked to they're really chromosomal differences in the body versus like who you are and like what you do, but it also helps for medical stuff, so whatever. Super neat.
It's wild.
It's totally wild. It's weird. 2 quick things. Elon Musk debuted the LA tunnel that he dug. Did you watch the video?
No, I didn't. I did see the article, and I thought to myself, I can't watch this fucking thing. I said, I'll wait till I hear something about it.
I kept trying to find articles where people talked about it because I was super curious how it was. And every article was the same video.
Well, what turned me off about the headline that I read was something about take a test ride in Elon Musk's plan to solve LA's traffic problems or something like that. He's not trying to solve anything. He's trying to come up with a new way to do things.
Yeah.
It's not a solve for whatever. It's a way to I guess it's a solve in that it's a way to fucking turn the page on whatever we were doing. This is a way to not build gigantic things that can fall and stuff. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things at play here.
It's a new way to think about traffic in LA. It's not gonna. He's not seemingly trying to fix everything.
It's weird though, because I think that's the way people have to think about it in order to understand it.
I think he's going. That's why he's going a little crazy, because he is looked at as a magician, and he's like, "I'm just a dude."
But
with
meanwhile,
some really cool
he
ideas.
then performs like a magician.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So we're all like, "Wow!"
But great.
Because I thought this thing was going to be like testing in 2025 or something like that. You know what I mean? And
the
here it
network's
is,
going to be
2018,
ready.
and it's up.
The network that he's building.
There's a video.
2028 is the plan.
Well, a couple weeks ago, you mentioned this story, blah, 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 and then on whatever date that's going to be open, and you said open to the public, and I was like, what do you mean open to the public? You can take a ride? And we were joking about it like, that's ridiculous. Here it is 2 weeks later. That's exactly what you can do.
Yeah. 150 miles an hour
it's
on
like
an
$300 to go to
track.
Disneyland now. You can probably just go down to Hawthorne.
For free.
Yeah, right underneath the airport.
Let us know your thoughts.
It's so cool. I love that guy. I love everything he does. I think he's wacko too, but I mean, he's not from this planet, so wouldn't you be a little wacko?
So who cares?
Sure.
Also, and he's got fantastic ideas, and he does cool shit.
He's willing to build new and not upon what we've all constructed so far. And I don't mean that from a literal place. I mean that from a thinking place and a etherical place too.
Yeah, he's an outside-the-box thinker. Kind of like this guy in a different way. Chris Farley died 21 years ago today.
You're kidding.
And he sat right there.
Not only sat there, he tumbled over.
Tumbled over it.
This is a great... We always wanted to do that segment. I don't think I ever built a card for it. What was it?
Bum brush with greatness.
Bum brush with greatness, yeah.
So this is the first one.
Wow.
It was today he died. I don't know if that's when he sat there, but he was 33. Do you remember? It was 1997.
Yeah, I remember where I was.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Where were you?
You're going to laugh, but the person who I was with will remember this as well. I was with Sarah Roy, and I believe that's her last name again. Yeah. Sarah Roy from Bethel, Connecticut. We were at the Bombay Company in the Danbury Fair Mall buying a, I don't know exactly what you call this, but one of those big mirrors with a stand that like is in the corner of a dressing mirror that you flip over, you know, that kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. Buying one of those for her mother for Christmas. And the guy who was our guy said, blah, 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 something or other. Yeah, Chris Farley died. And I was like, wait, what? And blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Chris Farley died. I was like, no, wait, hang on. Are you saying that Chris Farley died? Because I worked with Chris Farley. Like, I worked at SNL. Like, you know what I mean? This was a bigger deal to me. I wasn't just a fan. So that was my experience. And then we went home, and then it was, you know, on the news or whatever.
I don't remember where I was, but it would have been the first Christmas.
I can't believe I remember that, like when JFK was shot or 9/11.
But I remember, like, there's other people that have passed away, like Heath Ledger. Like, I remember exactly where I was, like Paul Walker, like people like that I have any kind of.
DJ Goldstein is who I think of for you.
DJ Adam. Yeah. So I totally do get why you would remember it so clearly. I think I was just really busy that would have been my first winter break home from college. So who knows what I was doing, but the loss is crazy. I know we talked about it a lot while I was home because he was like my family loved him and like we watched all his SNL stuff all the time. So to know that his butt was there and then he ran that chair over.
He rolled the chair off the set and then he got up and then he did it again.
Yeah.
So I've broken your equipment. I wish we should play that clip. I gotta find that clip. Yeah. You know what? I watch it now.
Just sign your name like a jackass. But I don't know. It's like it happens. Sometimes people come up to an autograph, but it's not gonna change me. I'm gonna do the same old Chris.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna happen here. Oh! I've broken your equipment.
Look out!
Are you all right?
Are you gonna be okay?
Yeah, I thought that.
Well, here, you know, there you go. You can have one of those.
It's a little pale. I like chocolate.
Oh, man.
Well, that's it.
And there you go. Wasn't that funny?
That
Ha, ha,
was
ha. There you go.
hilarious.
We're
One of
pretending
my
we watched it
favorites.
with you. We're going to drop it in
Brush.
after.
Da-dun, da-dun.
Oh, that's it?
That's
And
it.
that's been What's Going On, Mrs.
Dun,
Ryan.
dun, 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 dun.
We got to get the chimes in the whole bit. That was awesome, Mrs. Ryan. Good job on the news today. I enjoyed that.
Thanks.
What's going on and stuff. When we come back, our guest today, Matt Abrams, is here. You know him from Instagram, his Cars and Cannabis. You know his cars. We posted pictures of his car just the other day with Bruce Brown and stuff. But anyway, we're going to be in to talk about all sorts of stuff, some of your medicine, some of our car stuff. He's a big Porsche fan.
Stories are incredible. I can't wait.
Yeah, just in the green room,
Yeah.
of course, we started, and we had to cut everything short because I was like, we should talk about it out there. Matt Abrams will be in here in just a few minutes. Cars and Cannabis today, Mrs. Ryan. Woohoo! More to
Nice.
come right after this.
Your love lifted me higher than I've ever been lifted before. So keep it up, quench my desire, and I'll be at your side forevermore. You know your love keep on lifting higher, higher and higher. I said your love keep on lifting me higher and higher. Listen, now once I was downhearted. Disappointment was my closest friend. But then you came and he soon departed. And you know he never showed his face again. That's why your love keep on lifting me higher, higher and higher. I said your love keep on lifting me higher and higher. All right. I'm so glad I finally found you. Yes, that one in a million, girl. And now with my loving arms around you, honey, I can stand up and face the world. Let me tell you, your love keep on lifting me higher, higher and higher. And I said your love keep on lifting me higher and higher. All right, now suck it. All right, lift me up, woman. Keep my love going higher and higher. I said keep on lifting.
Good, Mrs. Ryan?
Lift me up, mama.
Putting your cans on. Get your cans on. How are you going to hear anything?
Cans are on. Should I
what?
I should I not wear them?
No, that's great.
Okay. Good.
Oh my gosh, you're so. I've gotten you.
No.
I've made
Someone
you
else was
gun-shy.
like, "Why do you wear them? They're distracting." And I was like,
Because they were white. They won't be once they're black.
"Oh no, it was when they were these before."
All right. Well, gee.
Whatever.
Hey, wait a nice. We're back.
Hi. That's why.
That's what you do when you get a show with a married couple. That's what you have to deal with.
yeah.
Hello there, Matt Abrams. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. How about you guys?
It's great to meet you today, and it's great to have you here on our show. I feel like I know you a little bit just from our Instagram communication back and forth, because we've been trying to put this together for a while. You've had a lot going on, and I don't know where really to start with you. Should we, you know what I mean? I guess I should probably start with the fact that you couldn't come recently because you were making your family bigger.
Yeah, my wife and I recently were lucky enough to add another beautiful baby boy to the family. So we got 2 babies under 2 now. Excellent planning on our part. Or
getting it out of the way.
Or non-planning on our part.
Congratulations, it's wonderful.
We're extremely happy. It's put a little wrench in the social activities, but it's been great.
That's awesome.
Mrs. Ryan, you had a question. I want you to start right there because I did that thing again where I didn't move the camera because I started talking to the guest. So you guys go ahead real quick, and I'll be right back.
Well, you guys, I know we'll talk cars, but like I'm not I'm experienced in this, but I'm not knowledgeable about pot smoking because it's medicinal for me. It's not like whatever. So like my big questions are like about dosage and the difference of like not necessarily strains because I know that's like picky and like what pen do you like to rate with, but more of the difference of like we were talking earlier of like the hemp stuff. I did not know that CBD came from hemp, and like the THC, I don't know the dosage of that. Do you know that? You must know that stuff, I imagine.
So the kind of science behind THC and CBD is still evolving. We're still kind of studying this. There's been such a lockdown on it for so long. No one really knows, too much about what's going on. But the past couple of years, there's been an explosion in, the information available. And for a long time, everyone focused on THC, and it was THC content. Everyone said, I have the highest THC content. You go into certain shops, and they're advertising, 24%, 27%.
And that's the psychotrope.
It's a psychoactive ingredient is THC.
Okay.
And THC is naturally...
It's what makes you high, right?
Exactly, the high feeling. But what we're finding out now is that it's not only THC. It's also, there's CBD attached to it. There's also terpene profiles. And we're finding out the actual terpene profiles, which is the flavors and the smells, has a very heavy effect on what you're actually feeling in the end.
Interesting.
So it's not just straight as black and white as everyone wanted to make it seem.
Yeah.
And as we go further and further into the industry,
everyone wants a number for things. Like there's not it
what
doesn't
box?
work that way. Especially this product, this specifically.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. It's like the Bureau of Cannabis Control just required testing to happen on July 1st. We had to have absolutely necessary testing on all products going through stores. People were testing for years before that, but not because of safety purposes, because for advertising purposes. They wanted to show they had the highest percentage.
Course.
But now the tests also include things for heavy metals, pesticides. The actual like you're buying a product through a store and paying heavy taxes on it. It should be relatively safe, especially if it's being regulated by the state.
Right.
So that's kind of people come in, they pay these extra taxes, and they're kind of pissed off about it. But at the same time, I can present to them an actual test saying your stuff is certified clean. It's safe. You don't know what you're smoking if you're getting from somebody else off the street.
FYI, that's a huge deal. Now that we know growers and the stuff that we deal with more exclusively is the wrong word, but so closely, I can tell the difference in their product versus like.
Oh, we've been lucky through the show that a grower reached out to us saying, "Hey, can you?" Yeah, so her flower product comes from somebody specifically lately.
Yeah, and I can tell you right now, just from looking at the licensed product coming through stores, it's not as pretty or as big as stuff I saw a year ago coming through the stores because that stuff that wasn't tested and it had heavy pesticides. That's the reason they were getting these beautiful bright colors and smells because it was chemicals coming through the plant.
Toxic shit.
It was, who knows what the long-term effect was. We haven't tested on it, but the fact is you'd probably rather not have it in your system.
Sure.
I'd rather just, go the safe route, just not have it.
Right.
Especially since you can get, there's percentages.
Is that why people are always saying like, oh, the pot's so much stronger now than it used to be and all that? Or is that from the engineering? And by the way, sorry, you also own at least a dispensary.
I own a dispensary with my family. It's a family-run business called One Love Beach Club in Long Beach. It's Long Beach's oldest dispensary.
Wow.
And the most busy ones. I'm very proud of that one. We've been through a lot of trials and tribulations. My parents are longtime activists. And I have 3 brothers who everyone's been involved at some point. We've been open for over 10 years, had a lot of friends and family work for us. And it's a full union shop. Everyone enjoys union benefits and medical and all that stuff.
Fantastic.
So
wow.
That's
what a neat business to be part of.
That one's a really cool business. I'm extremely proud of that. And then I also consult, and I work for another company called Leaf and Lion, where I'm the CEO. And we're opening different stores all over the place. We just opened one in North Long Beach. We have another one in Port Hueneme scheduled to open in March of next year.
Wow.
And then one in San Bernardino hopefully next year as well.
Cool.
So basically, I wanted everyone else to realize that you are, for lack of a better term, you're an expert in this category, and certainly compared to the people you're sitting across the desk from. So we want to have the cannabis conversations today that we can't just have with somebody who likes to
sure.
smoke pot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like
so that's
both,
why
so.
that's why we're coming. Of course, sure.
No,
But
I'm
that's
glad
why,
you said that though, because there's a difference versus like I need to take Advil, or I enjoy the effects that taking Advil gives me. There's a very different objective there.
No, absolutely.
I
And
appreciate that.
It's really interesting because, dispensaries, I got in this 10 years ago where it was medical marijuana. The adult use wasn't really on the scene yet. And so all the people coming in
adult
recreational
use. I see.
Yeah, and so people were coming in, either they had a legitimate medicinal purpose or they were faking it, but they all had a script from the doctor. They all went to the doctor at some point and said something to the doctor. So we actually had a lot of people coming in who were legitimately
I'm old. I'm confused.
Yeah, you get that. That was me. Yeah, I was my back hurt all the time and bad insomnia. But you had people coming in who showed me that this was a legitimate, avenue towards health and wellness. I have my first shop was up in LA, and we had a lot of people who had a lot of HIV positive men coming in all the time, and that was a new experience for me. All of a sudden, going, wow, people are actually using this. People aren't getting high off this. This guy's using this. We can take his medicine.
Pain care, right?
Absolutely. And then when I sold that shop.
Pain management.
Yeah, and then when I sold that shop, I moved down to Long Beach, where I was living. And we're in Belmont Shore area where there's actually it's one of the, per capita, one of the largest gay populations in the state. And I also have a lot of, it's a very alternative lifestyle type of place in Belmont Shore. And we just have a ton of patients who are actually using because they need to. I've lost patients not because of, competition, because I've lost them to life. Right. Because, I've seen them and all of a sudden they come in and then the guy's 40 pounds, lighter, and then he's gone 2 weeks later. And you're like, what? And it's a weird... It's a weird juxtaposition of having, you got money coming in on this side, but also you're actually doing a service. People are actually really legitimately need this. But now you have recreational in the same shop. So all of a sudden I have people coming who just want to get high.
Yeah.
Just want to get high.
Well, I go to buy her medicine, and the change has been significant in how it's all done. It is a store now. It's just a store now, and it did used to feel more like a pharmacy. Do you think that's going to continue? I mean, the law says it can. Or will we get maybe places that are only one or the other?
The way I kind of see it happening is basically medical marijuana has been treated as over-the-counter medicine. You're going to a doctor who wasn't giving you a formal prescription. He was giving you a recommendation. And then you're going to a store where you had, an 18 to 25-year-old basically recommending something to you, not based on anything really. He doesn't know medicine. They're not trained at all. So that's pretty much an over-the-counter experience where it's all anecdotes. Someone telling you, oh, try this out. I can go buy it at the store and it's going to help you. It's like Tylenol or Bayer or something like that. And so for them,
all they can say is this is what I like, right?
Yeah,
that's all anyone.
And some stores went out of their way to hire nurses and hire people who have experience and do training, and that was, kudos to them. My store, we did something like that. We actually have a couple of people on staff who really can help people who are really sick. We actually have doctors sending us cancer patients because they know we actually understand a little bit of the medicine that's going on. But ultimately, still, it is kind of an over-the-counter. And the way I see the Bureau of Cannabis treating it right now is the focus is on adult use. Because that really is where the taxes are coming in, and that's really where the way. If it's over the counter, adults should be able to go buy it themselves. Right. And so the medicinal right now kind of feels like a tax break. You pay a little bit less in taxes, but I'm not really seeing a push towards a bigger let's pushing medical marijuana as compared to adult use marijuana.
Well, no, I mean if they get more taxes from the recreational, they would probably rather see medical go away. Yeah. I would imagine it won't be very long where they go it's not necessary.
Already at the state level for the Bureau of Cannabis Control, they only differentiate between medical and adult use on the retail level. On the cultivation, distribution, manufacturing.
All the same stuff.
It's all the same stuff. It's who you sell it to determines if it's medical or
They told me that at the dispensary, and I believed them, but I believe you more, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I have a couple. I have other cities don't care. Long Beach is really interesting. They've actually maintained the legal fiction of medicinal versus adult use for all their for cultivation, manufacturing, and distribution.
Now, why did they do that? Because it seems complicated.
For zoning.
They
already had people they were zoning for for medicinal purposes. They wrote a new law for adult use, which gave the city way more control over the whole situation, and basically zoned everyone out. So they wanted to control it. But they still have people who got in before that happened who were adult use in very commercial areas, or who were medicinal in very commercial areas, which is not what they wanted. So that's kind of...
I personally was blown away by how what you're talking about is what made me think of this. We live in an area where there's tons of our famous car people around here. Mm-hmm. Tons of our famous garages are around here. I don't even need to name the names. You know them all. Smattered in and about, all of them are these warehouses with grow factories in them.
All of them.
All of them.
All of them.
And I'm trying. It's so funny. And we were with somebody very specifically who is a very well-known person in our car field, and he was like, "Yeah, no, all of the buildings surrounding their property on like 3 sides were grow factories." Or am I saying the right word?
Yeah, cultivations.
Cultivation plants.
No, it's really funny. The same thing's going on in Huntington Beach. There's a lot of famous car guys down in Huntington Beach with big garages, and when you're in these industrial areas or these areas with big garages, who else is going to rent them besides people with industrial uses or these cultivators? And the cultivators come in, they're willing to pay a lot more in rent, and landlords are, after getting the door beat down for years, are like, I'll take some money.
That's exactly.
And especially as the laws,
it's legal now, so like no one can knock.
It's so hard to come around and raid them all the time. It's a cat and mouse game. You raid them here, they go somewhere else. It's fun. I have a 10,000 square foot warehouse in Westminster. I have a glass blowing facility. That's kind of all connected into the cannabis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like pipes and things.
Actually, pipes and stuff, yeah. It all stemmed from this industry, from the cannabis. I had a couple artists come to me and say, I need representation. I saw the work they were doing. They were making amazing glass art. I said, let's open a gallery for you and kind of start this new sort of thing.
You are fascinating, man.
You're the coolest.
He's Mr. Bronchial, just branch off, man.
Well, the funny thing is I put it in Westminster. It's right off of Golden West, right off the freeway, and the Harley-Davidson dealership is... It's 2 doors down from us. I have all car restoration place all around us. And one day, one of my glass blowers called me and was like, hey, man, there's police everywhere. And I go, dude, it's not us, man. We're okay.
We're good.
Well, 5 of the buildings around us, all cultivations. We had no idea. It was all around us. Like stuff really...
Illegal cultivations, apparently.
Oh, of course, illegal cultivations.
Wow.
But you had basically cars, cultivation, cars, cultivation,
That's
cars,
hilarious.
cultivation.
Isn't that something?
And you find that, and the same thing in Long Beach, too. You have...
Yeah, I didn't know it until this person was telling us, but sure enough, then they started popping, and then it almost feels like once you know, you can smell it. Like you drive through certain areas, and you're kind of like, well, wait a second, you shouldn't be smelling if they're not burning it, right, or whatever.
No,
but
you can smell your own.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, I can smell my.
Yeah.
I got to notice when I drive by. Go there. You see the signs
so
too.
funny.
It's like Christmas trees. Like you can smell the fur.
You can tell the security signs. You can tell certain things. Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that's man. All right. Well, cars just for a second.
Yeah.
You're a fellow Porsche-phile. You've got an Instagram with a lot of Porsches and cool cars and stuff on it. Mm-hmm. I think that's probably how I initially found you, was through your Instagram. We obviously have tons of mutual friends.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We should maybe start with Bruce Brown, since he bought one of your cars.
Yeah, Bruce is a great guy. I think everybody knows him. He's everywhere. Takes tons of pictures.
Definitely.
Yeah. And,
we all know him. He's awesome.
Yeah. No, and I
didn't mean that bad. He's good.
Bruce is awesome.
Yeah.
I had a 62 notchback that I put an ad up on the 356 registry for a couple years ago, and after sitting there for a year, a guy...
you know what? All right, since you're talking about that car, we should back up. How did you get that car?
So this is how I put an ad up on the 356 registry, and a guy named Mark Roth, who's the president of the 356 Club of Houston, contacted me and said, why do you want this car? After a couple months going back and forth explaining how I really wanted to drive the car and I wanted to rally it and not just flip it, he was still confused by the fact that a younger person wanted to drive this car. And he has family in San Diego, so he flew out, saw them, and met me up in Newport. And we had lunch.
To interview you, basically.
It was a nice, friendly lunch, and we got along really, really well. Made arrangements to put down a deposit. I put down a deposit. I flew out to Houston. He picked me up at the airport and drove the car. It was better than imagined. He kept immaculate care of the car. It had gone through an amazing, a driver restoration, fully rebuilt engine, and just it was a really lucky find for me. I was really lucky he selected me to buy the car. I promised him I would hold the car on longer than I did, but family and life takes precedent. Yeah. I have a knack for collecting things, and I wanted another Porsche. Mm-hmm. And so the wife was like, all right, you got to sell one car before you get another car. I have a really rare 66 VW Dormobile bus that's like one of 24 ever made. Whoa. I don't drive it a ton, but I just can't ever sell it. I could never get it back. It's just not a car I could ever find again to get back. So I made the decision to sell the notchback instead.
also to someone that you know you could get it back from if you wanted to.
Was funny
one day.
Well, originally actually someone had Mark contacted me saying he saw the ad on the 356 registry for the car, and I'm like, that's not my ad. Somebody took my pictures and are just putting a fake ad up.
Oh, it's a scam.
It was a scam, but at that point I was like, maybe it's not a bad idea to see what I can get for this car right now. It's obviously kind of popular. And so I had it up on the Samba for a while. I had it on Craigslist. I didn't put it on the registry. I had it on, and I basically sat there for like 2 months with not one bite. And people hit me up kind of not really interested. And then I put it on Facebook in one of the groups, and I had like 3 offers in the same day. First one being Bruce. And so when Bruce hit me up, I said yes, and that was kind of the whole deal. I was
local friend already.
I knew him. Guy hit me up 10 minutes later with a bigger offer, and I'm like, it's going to Bruce. Talk to Bruce,
That's so
Hilarious.
But on the caveat that I can buy it back from him. That if he's going to sell it, I get first dibs. So
It's such a cool car.
it really is. It's a great car, but I was telling you before, I really like the drive hard. And I was afraid of what I was going to do to that car. It's got the original engine in it. I put myself in some sketchy situations.
You mentioned you were on the Crest recently.
Yeah, I was on a professor run, and my buddy Mike.
Oh, that was on a professor run?
It was on a professor
You weren't
run.
just with the professor.
No, it was on a professor run. It was, we met up at the Cars and Coffee in LA. It was a couple runs ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
we
were
went to the morning and we didn't do that run because we had a bad feeling about it.
Yeah.
We were like, this is a weird crowd. There's way too many outsiders.
Agreed. There was a lot of cars in the beginning. There was a lot of people going in and out. It was a lot of cars I didn't recognize, drivers who were doing stupid stuff.
I'm not interested.
But later,
Yeah,
it was on the backside. It was myself and my buddy Mike who were driving together. We were kind of away from everybody else.
Okay, so you're at least in a pocket of people you know.
Yeah, and I was in a clear space, and I was kind of coming towards a turn. I started to put the brake down to slow down a little bit and just hit loose gravel or something. And I was turned around 180 within a minute.
Oh, you were slowing down.
I was slowing down, but I was still coming. I was too hot.
Yeah.
I was definitely coming around with too much speed. I was going to bring too much speed into the corner. I could have controlled it, but the gravel took me out.
Yeah.
I ended up backwards.
So you were braking into the corner, and bless you.
Yeah, hit a lip and basically rolled to a stop about 10 feet from the cliff's edge and kind of decided that was...
It was a non-event, luckily. Luckily, nothing happened.
Nothing happened. No, there was no damage to the car, nothing. It was just a nice
a spin out.
A good wake up.
Nice reminder.
A good wake up.
where
And that's
you
when I
are.
decided fully, okay, this car, I need something a little more aggressive if I'm going to drive like this.
Yeah.
Something a little better, a little better suspension. And something I felt comfortable, like,
Well, even
doing.
the coupe has more weight back there. You know what I mean? Like the notch really, it's not where you need it to be.
It's a cab. It really is.
With weight on top.
Yeah, with the weight on top. And ultimately, it just didn't have the suspension. I couldn't, that car was so original, I didn't want to do anything to it to make it more aggressive. I didn't want to turn it into an outlaw.
No,
really
it's so
wanted
nice
to.
as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So,
That's the red one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But it now has a
Sigma
111
red.
sticker on it. Yeah, there's a Persang sticker on it as well.
Yeah, it's got some good stickers.
How do you know Persang, that group, those guys?
Yeah, I've met them a couple times, seen them at shows. They're cool guys.
Same here.
That sticker I actually just got I think I got something from Joshy Robots or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And that sticker came as part of a pack of something. I'm like, oh, I know those guys on. And then when I put it on my car and started taking pictures of it, they contacted me and were like, hey, and then we became friends that way and started talking at shows and stuff. I was actually supposed to stay with them up at Rensport.
Oh.
But I ended up having to go to work, and I missed Rensport.
Oh, man. Yeah,
How
we ended
dare
up
you.
too.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, they're great guys. We see them. Whenever we do, it's kind of like just a wave or a hello or whatever, but there's just such a warmth. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know
they're
what
good
to say.
guys.
They're
They
just
have-
like good people, you
They're
know?
good, yeah, and they're just true drivers. They drive. I like the
Yeah.
passion they have for their cars. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you get? You sold that notch and you bought...
So I was on Bring a Trailer. I probably should have been more patient. I have a patience problem. I really... I sold the car
Hey,
before
chill
I had...
out, man.
Yeah, I know.
Relax.
I sold the car before I had another one lined up. So I waited a few weeks to look for something. I couldn't find anything I liked. I've been looking for a month. I've been looking for a couple months anyways. Just kind of didn't find exactly what I wanted. Knew I wanted something like a 72 or 73. I wanted the 2.4 engine.
Okay.
I wanted the numbers matching. And I wanted kind of a rare color. So I'm kind of looking around. On Bring a Trailer, a 73.5 Aubergine Targa came up.
All right, so that's the very end of the
Very
line.
end, it has the CIS. It has the CIS injection, which I like. I think it's a little more responsive than the MFI. And just kind of a half year. I just wanted something, right that little pinnacle 73 year.
Sure.
So the car came up.
Pause. Jose's year is what?
74.
Okay, so it's similar-ish?
No.
No.
It's the first of the new. His is the last of the old.
Yes,
Oh,
74,
okay.
they changed the 2.7 engine, which had a little bit of problems with like heating up and melting down because of catalytic converter stuff. And
Also a Targa, though. Both Targa.
yeah, but also the main,
And
the main
color similar?
Yeah,
Similar, yeah.
Yeah.
His is amethyst.
The main-
Aubergine, you like the
Aubergine.
eggplant.
and the
Yeah.
74 is it goes to the short hood. Long hood ends in 73.
Got it. Now I have a
Yeah.
good visual. Keep going.
So,
Thanks.
the car, I was looking at the commentary going back and forth. People are asking the guy questions, and he's answering the questions, and he's not being super like, disclosing everything. So I arranged for a PPI, a company I never used before. I sent the guy out there, and I was really concerned about rust. I was like, if the engine's got problems, I'll work on the engine.
Did you say where it came from? Where
Florida.
Was it? So it could have rust.
Originally a California car, but it had been in Florida for about 20 years.
Yeah, so you never know.
So I didn't know what was going on with it. Body came back clean. PPI, he said it came back clean. He said, hey, you're missing parts in the interior, got this and that, but it wasn't a big deal for me. He said the engine looks good though, starts up no problem, doesn't leak, blah, blah, blah. When it came off the truck, it fired up. I drove it for 10 minutes before it died. All the injectors are bad. The cold start injector is bad. All of that, just knew what was going on right away. When I
just gunked up from years,
just gunked
right?
up. When I brought it in, it needed a full top end rebuild, basically. I ended up putting, about $12,000 into it between clutch, flywheel, new lines, new everything. But the shop that was doing it was having.
You do move quickly because this whole thing is. I didn't even know you had that car long enough.
You've
You've already spent a lot of money and moved.
It was in August. I got it in August.
Okay.
So I've had it for a few months now. And I wanted to drive the car. Drive the car.
Yeah, summer months.
So I got a shop down in Orange County. I'm not going to name them to do the work for me.
Oh shit.
And what the work. I was hoping that the work they did was solid, but they lied about buying parts for me. I actually ended up calling manufacturer and be like, hey, this order, did you ship this part out yet? And he's like, they never ordered it.
Oh, so I hate that because they had something on the shelf and sold you that or whatever.
Because they just not good. Young guys are not good at following up.
Oh boy, yeah.
So right now I have another shop where the guy calls me 3 times a day, which I feel much more comfortable about because he's
attentive.
Yeah. So either way, the car came after about 3 months. I kind of said, just give me the car back. I need the car back. They finally got it running. It does run, but it's not correct. The startup, the cold start on it is not correct. Still, they didn't replace a couple of parts correctly. And then so I brought it back to someone who I pressure brought to in the first place at Jack's German Auto Service, and because I like.
Oh,
Jack
we don't mind saying this one. Here we go.
No,
yes,
Jack,
good for you.
I like Jack a lot.
You.
He worked on the 62 before that, and he did a really good job. Really honest, very fair.
Awesome.
So I like Jack a lot.
Well, that's a high praise.
I thought I'd give him a shout out.
Absolutely. I don't believe we've crossed paths yet.
Yeah, it's funny. I got it. There's a older gentleman who goes to Tustin named Barton Beach, drives a yellow 356. Really cool guy, and he turned me on. And he's like, for any sort of service work, Jack does great work. So
cool.
Yeah, because otherwise, everybody always recommends Mistress up in L.A. here, who I guess is recently closed or.
Oh wow!
I don't know. But now I've been also recommended.
Here's what I have learned. Every shop has people who like them and don't like them. Make your own decision. You know what I mean? That's what I have learned.
Everyone has a history.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And you can't base anything on that history other than someone had a bad experience and you don't know what the fuck happened.
Well, it's funny. I told the last shop, I was like, I've had people mess up my cars before. As long as they're honest about it and take care of it, that's all you can happen.
Make mistakes.
I had a shop in Huntington Beach was doing a basic valve adjustment and did it too tight and messed up. I had to send it all back out to be remachined. But called me
because of the tolerance.
Called me, said I messed it up. I'm sending it out to Vegas to be remachined to be better than before. Took care of it. I didn't pay a thing for his mess up. And
it sucks for that guy, but you as the customer, it's not passed down to you.
But I was happy to go ahead and recommend that shop to somebody else, even after they, the car came out better and they took care of it, So
that's ultimately what everything's about, is just being transparent with everything.
It's funny. I felt I was giving the guys a retail thing in the end. It was like, hey, even if you can have a bad meal, but if the server's really nice to you and kind of you walk.
Oh, you're educating them.
I was like, hey guys, you could have taken care of me a lot different than you did.
Here's a lesson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good for you. You seem to be a really good businessman, and you seem to be all over the place. But you also seem to be like 25.
I've made a lot of mistakes. No, I'm 36. So
oh well, good for you. But
it.
Even still, that's fantastic. You've got
I think I have natural ADD, so I can't stay at anything too long.
Okay.
I have lots of hobbies, and when I get into something, I get into it
pretty
heavy.
You go all the way, right?
Yeah.
And then learn everything there is to learn.
I try to.
All in.
You
get your master's on the subject, essentially.
Yeah, and then if I really love cars, I have different things I've been into.
What other cars do you have? Can we ask?
So I have a 64 Squareback. It's a VW Squareback. It's getting a new engine put into it. It's a panel wagon. It's all original logos on it still. It was a flower delivery car in the 70s up in Northern California.
Whoa, what color?
Cool.
Bright yellow.
Cool. With graphics.
With graphics. It says flower box delivery on it and stuff like that.
Wow.
Can't wait to see
glass in the back, that must be
one's
awesome.
Really cool. And then at this point I have a 73 BMW bike.
Oh, that's
Fully
cool, too.
Restored is a guy named Bobby. His name Rough Motors does amazing restorations on BMW bikes.
Do you ride it? Or is it more of a look
No,
at it?
I was riding. I had a recent incident where I put it down recently. I had a little car turned in front of me.
That's
so the
what
wife,
it always is.
So the wife asked me to take a little break, which understandable completely.
But the bike fared okay?
No, bike took a lot of damage, but fixed up within a month. Bobby
I see.
Yeah, Rough took great care of it. New colors, so I'll have that back.
Oh my
soon.
gosh.
Yeah. So I'll have that back pretty
You're
soon.
hilarious. You're like, yeah, I'm taking a break. The bike looks great. It's
Me,
totally
taking
different.
a break. I'm not riding it because it's in the shop.
Yeah, I'm being so respectful though of everything my wife.
Everybody
asks
gets
me.
what they want. Everybody gets what they want.
My wife
Oh,
is
that sounds like Bill Burr.
my wife is awesome. She knows I have a lot of hobbies and I get into stuff, so she just kind of lets me go along with it until
Until it's a problem.
until it's a problem. And the bike wasn't a problem until I put it down. So yeah.
100%.
I like her philosophy.
Yeah, and thank God nothing happened.
But,
Yeah.
it's right. She's getting a leather jacket for Christmas, so it's all good.
For the bike. Of course.
The helmet's already sitting there. She already
Straight
got the
up.
gloves ready.
Hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and then I've mostly been into VWs. I had two Type 34 VWs, the European Gias, which I really like. That's actually what got me into Porsches. My parents always had VWs. I started out with buses, and I love camping. But then I got a Type 34 VW, which is like the European Gia, and I found that I like driving it. And I was like, oh my God, this is fun to drive. Like, I want to drive cars again.
Nice.
And then I went and drove my friend's Porsche, and I was like, oh, I'm done. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
all right. Like,
No more.
VWs are great, but I love the drive.
They are, but then there's a ceiling, and then the Porsche picks up, is what like most people say, and
Yeah.
I've found.
Even though I've driven with friends who have souped up bugs, it doesn't feel the same. Like driving the Porsche feels like a sports car, like a responsive sports car. Even the new Target that I got, besides the cold start problems I'm having, the actual engine feels strong. I love I love the bigger engine.
Yeah.
It definitely,
Oh, well, compared to, yeah,
Yeah,
sure. What'd you have, 80 horse before, maybe?
90.
70?
Had
Of course,
had the Super 90. Had the extra 10 horsepower there, so the extra 10 always helps. But no, the new 2.4 is great. And then now I was actually watching Petrolicious this morning, and they have a brand new little vignette, and it's a German guy in Germany with his 930.
Oh, my.
And he's souped up 964. And I'm like, all right, that's the next car.
Oh my.
Oh, that'd
Yeah.
be nice, yeah.
Yeah.
You're so jazzed. Look at his face
Oh
light
yeah.
up.
No, I've been. Yeah. I love.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Here, my first question really is: how much are you supposed is like in a joint? How many grams? I'm totally switching
Take
gears.
your time.
No.
No, and this is why we're here.
So generally, right now, because stuff is coming through licensed, it's easier to weigh stuff if it's like in half gram or full gram. So I'm seeing like joints are coming in packs now. They're coming in singles, or they're coming in packs like the ones I showed you guys
Oh,
earlier.
yeah.
So usually half gram to a full gram.
You buy joints like
somewhere
a
there.
cigarette now? Is that what you're saying? Like they're...
So you can buy loosies or you can buy packs.
Well, that thing that you brought
That's a pack
us
of 3.
for her, that's a little, and it's a little tiny, look like gum.
Little pack of 3, but I have a client who came to me recently, and he already had his fully branded packaged product, and it looked like a pack of Marlboro cigarettes. It was,
Yeah.
I don't know how many cigarettes come in a pack. It was the same. It was like 8 cigarettes.
20 from memory,
20.
I think.
It's 20. Yeah, this guy had. I think he had 8. He had 8 little pre-rolled joints and a lighter, and it was the same size package of cigarettes, and it was
Wow.
a full. Each joint was a gram.
Each was a gram because
Yeah.
this is what I know. I never know how much I'm actually using because the new thing I have is smaller, but which is good. But the joints, like I know people that literally will smoke joints all day long.
Yeah.
Which is that normal? Like to have it
Well,
to know
What's
to maintain
normal?
it.
I think it depends how you use, how you use marijuana. If you're a habitual smoker, like just the act of doing this. People who smoke cigarettes don't necessarily need the nicotine. It's the act of doing this is like a
Yeah.
boredom thing. So I have people who I have friends who have a ton of flour around all the time. So for them, just rolling a joint and smoking all day is just not a big deal. It's not necessarily being high. Like they want to be high. That's what they're smoking.
Right.
But the amount they're using is excess, and they have to. Like, rolling a joint is probably, if you're smoking a full gram joint at a time, you're probably smoking at least half a gram too much. Or at least not too much, just more than you need to get where you want to be. At a certain point.
That's kind of my question. Like, can you I know you can't like overdose.
You don't
like,
want
no
to
one-
waste product. You're almost saying like...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a point
I
where...
think it depends. If your goal is to
Thank
like
you.
pass out
Yeah.
and fall asleep,
No.
then great. That gram joint might be awesome. But
There's
if you're
not really a max
but
there,
yeah,
I
but if
guess.
you're smoking like half that and then just falling asleep and then waking up and smoking again, you've kind of missed out what the point you were smoking for. So that's
Yeah.
kind of it's interesting right
That's
now.
also a different level of
Yeah.
necessity.
But
I don't
Yeah.
think you're there, hopefully.
No, and I've gotten when I'm sicker, I need to pay attention less to like how often or how much or whatever. The healthier I get, I try to be more cognizant of like not falling asleep, like if I don't have to. So that's where I never know what that barometer is, because like there's only so much I can like control. I don't want to control it, but there's only so much I can tell, really.
Of course, yeah. And that's
so I ask a lot of weird questions to people.
And that's one of the changes I'm seeing in the industry is that you have brands, it's more so in the concentrated vapor cartridges area, where you have brands who are actually dosing their stuff, saying, hey, like 1 puff is a dose, or 2 puffs is a dose, or hold it for...
I've seen that on the boxes just lately where they'll say 3 seconds
there's
is
actually
their
one
dose
brand
or
called,
5.
There's actually one brand called Dosist, where you hold the button down, and that's a dose. It'll basically give you a preset dose.
Oh, you can't. It'll whatever.
No, it's like 3 seconds, and then that's it for that dose. If you want another dose, you got to hold it down again, and the pen has like 180 doses in it.
And
So
how
they're
much
actually
is in
trying
that dose, do you think?
Probably about maybe like a 0.1 to 0.2 shot of concentrate. Very little. It's,
But it's up to them, right? Every single
it's really,
thing
yeah,
is
like
every
I said,
tank
it's
is
kinda,
different.
It's kind of over the counter. You're kind of deciding what your dose is, but at least on that type of thing, it's a preset little amount you're getting instead of just like a joint where it's just you're inhaling as much as you can or not, where you can't really tell. This is actually, at least it's giving the same. I know it's 2 puffs of this or 3 puffs of this. Or
that's good. At least there's something.
Or some of the edibles now too, where you actually know where they're scoring it. And you can see how much you're actually eating at a time. Okay, I can have 1 little square of this equals that. Edibles are always the least.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, sure. The
That's
little
a good-
gummy
You
things,
actually-
they come in a thing
Yeah,
that
you
are
have to now.
breakable.
All edibles have 100 milligram maximum. And
Yeah,
they
that
have-
really screwed us. She had a product that worked for her that was amazing,
Those
and it
ball
was cheap.
things?
Yes, it was amazing, and that whole thing ruined it.
Absolutely. So the way people are getting around that now is there are certain edibles that they've been classified as a concentrate, basically like tinctures or like some sort of sucking candies, where they're saying, hey, this is not an edible, it's actually a concentrate.
Oh.
Concentrate levels are 1,000 milligrams.
Whoa,
as
that's
compared-
a big differential.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
a
what
much
we were
big
there used to be
differential.
something that was like 25 to 50, something like that. But whatever it was just like a fantastic thing for her, and you could see the difference in her eyes, like after it melted in her mouth.
I think it was 25. Just FYI, like it was a chocolate covered gummy bear somehow. It was the best.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not trying to tell him what it was. I'm just,
I got apparently a little too excited about it. It's super yummy.
Well, that is also one of the benefit too. I had some gummies the other day, and I was like, "Wow, this is amazing tasting." It was called by a company Kamino or Kiva, brand called Kamino, and this gummy was like pineapple with a little bit of like cayenne spice to it.
Whoa!
And I'm like, this is fantastic. It was like gourmet. It was really, really good. And then a couple of chocolates we're seeing now. One of the companies, they stole guys from Godiva.
oh my
And
lord!
these are
Like
real-
chocolatiers
these are
from
real
Godiva?
These are real chocolatiers.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. Couple of the
Whoa.
brands are really good. My problem with some of the chocolate
Milla
is
Chocolates should get into this. Gertrude's and,
Heads
and
up,
Christine.
Milla. Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure. There's a big market for gourmet right now in this industry.
They have a fantastic and successful chocolate shop. They just opened in Los Angeles,
Really?
and it's working. Because they tried to pop up for a year and whatever, and it's working. And I'm like, how could they not be doing this?
At least for part of their
They've got a chocolate shop that's working in Los Angeles. You know what I mean?
good.
Anyway,
Great
sorry.
idea.
No, it's okay. I get
They
excited
pulled
too
people
about it.
from Godiva.
Well, it's because
That's nuts.
there's so many things that used to be dead ends that are now wide open. Like they just push the barricades over, and it's like people aren't even really, I don't believe, have even opened up their thinking to all the possibilities yet. You said the hemp industry is coming around now, and that's becoming the next thing.
And it's funny, that's actually going to pass cannabis up relatively quickly. What I'm saying, I think you might have seen recently in the paper that Coca-Cola is kind of researching CBD in drinks, and CBD is
Corona
going to be,
too, a bunch of them.
CBD is going to be the next gigantic thing. It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be in foods, over-the-counter medicines. Because what they're finding out basically is for the first time they're able to separate basically CBD from THC. It's basically binded together, but if you can have a strain where there's no THC and all CBD, you eliminate that problem.
Right.
And the only difference between cannabis and hemp basically is how much THC is in it.
That's so wild.
If it's below 0.03% THC, it's considered hemp, and it qualifies. If it's above that, it's now cannabis, and it's illegal in states where cannabis is
Isn't
not
that
legal.
so funny?
It's just the percentage.
But
And
they're all versions of the same plant.
all versions of the same plant, and it's funny. It's like flowers. You can look at them, and they look much different. Like industrial grade hemp looks like bamboo stalks. It looks like these big giant fields where you can't see through it at all. It's like super thick and you can't see through it.
Green color?
Brownish green color, yeah.
Okay, like bamboo.
But green, though, starts out green, as compared to now hemp being grown for CBD, looks like outdoor cannabis plants. If I put two next to each other, you could not tell the difference. It looks like a giant Christmas tree with giant colas on it. And
You're kidding.
Nope, it looks exactly the same. The flowers are this beautiful pale purple colors.
But
It's
they're
the same
providing
plant.
only CBD.
But because we bred it now, the same way we're breeding certain plants to grow higher THC percentages, same thing's happening on the CBD side.
So is that why the pot's stronger than it used to be? You know,
Yeah.
all the adults say the pot is way stronger than it used to
Absolutely.
be.
There is breeding going on for aesthetics and for potency. Absolutely.
And probably for years, for generations. I mean, that's been going on forever, so
It
it's
has
just
been
gotten
going on,
more and
but
more
I think
so.
what you're seeing now in the past couple of years is the sharing of information, especially through the internet. Before you had breeders, if they had something special, it was theirs. Everyone had to come to them to get it.
Of course, that's how they would have their
but
certain
now
names
through,
and stuff,
now
right?
through Instagram, I'm seeing all these companies who are having collaborations with growers. Oh, collaborate. I'm using this guy's seeds for this guy's seeds for this guy's genetics for this.
Love that.
And all
Well,
of a
that's
sudden,
the future, right? Yeah, open
because
source almost.
Well, basically, I think you know from like Instagram, if you don't put yourself out there, you're left behind.
Yeah.
So if you want to be the guy, even if you're not the best, you can be the guy by being the most vocal or being the loudest, and that's happening a lot in the industry. We have guys who are just willing to collaborate. People are willing to put themselves out there, but it's also breeding better technology, better pot.
Wow.
What do you find is the most common way that people ingest the THC?
It's still smoking flowers, either through a vaporizer or through just like a joint or a pipe.
Most people joints though,
Yeah,
right?
when I
Like
look at-
vaping is something I do
Yeah.
for
When I
medical
look at-
stuff that it always raises eyebrows, but no one seems to know what I'm
The
talking
only reason
about.
you vape is to not have the smoke of it all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's really
well,
the
that's the whole thing. Like, no one's ever going to tell you that like combustion is good is a medical delivery device.
Light that
Right.
on fire.
It was always going to be ingesting or or mainlining. That's how real medicine comes in. Most
Yeah.
of your ingestion, comes
Mainlining is injecting, right?
Pills or injection,
something
yeah.
like a steroid shot or something like that.
Not
and
pills.
So, no, or ingestion through pills.
He
Yeah,
said
it is.
ingestion first or injection.
yeah, those are the two ways you're going to get it. So like actually inhaling combusted smoke is pretty non-medical.
Not ideal.
What I'm seeing,
But 4 out of 5 doctors.
what I'm seeing through analytics though is about 60% of the industry is buying raw flowers. Either they're either vaping
Okay.
them or smoking them, but it's about 60%. But the cartridge market, like vape cartridges, is gigantic.
That's all I do is
It's
that.
going to be much bigger very soon.
Do you find the potency to be less than smoking actual flower? Whatever you know what I mean?
Technically, it's a higher potency. It should be a higher concentrated potency because it's concentrated marijuana. But the delivery devices don't deliver it like that.
Okay.
I've only had there was a brand called Orchid Essentials that actually had a pen where I felt like I was taking like an actual dab. Where I'd hit it and I'm like, wow, that's as heavy as like taking a straight dab.
I don't think I've ever taken a dab.
Yeah, so you know what dabs are, right?
I've
Yeah.
heard of dabbing,
Ish.
but I don't
Yeah.
actually
Not
know what
really.
dabbing. But we're actually kind of uneducated on this whole thing. We know what we know
Yeah.
well enough to live in that place, but we don't really know that much.
Yeah, so
But I was just curious. Like, I mean, I want to find out about dabbing, but I'm curious about. It seems that if I ever have a toke off a joint or even her vape machine or whatever, smoking the actual flower to me is way stronger and really gets me like I get high from that. Whereas those pens, it's almost like I would equate it to like microdosing or something.
it's fun. I call it maintenance.
Yeah.
Like I'll take a dab in the morning and feel very get to the level I want to get to, and then pens will never bring me back there, but it'll kind of keep me if I don't have to have something else.
Interesting.
It kind of keeps not withdrawal, just kind of like the need to have anything else. I can go through the whole day, and I'll smoke a pen. It's nice to have them around. It's cool to have, but I won't go on my way to buy a pen ever.
Really?
I just don't feel it's the same. But I also have a very high tolerance. I smoke quite a bit, and
And you said your family. This is a family business, so I'm
This is a
assuming
family,
that's
yeah.
been in.
for a long time, it's been out in the open for a very long time. First time I got in trouble for stealing my parents' pot, not smoking. At 16 years old, it was a stealing thing. Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
What's the dab thing? I don't know a lot about it,
Yeah.
but it looks like it's quick and then it's just like
So dabbing is the stupid verb that we came up with years ago for the act of smoking concentrated, marijuana through hash oil. And basically, people have been doing it for years through hot knife. Like hot knifing technique, where you basically have like a super hot, you have just a hot piece of metal, you drop the concentrate onto it, and then you trap the vapor and inhale it.
I've seen the movie with the guy who cuts his arm off, and they're smoking crack in that. Is it similar?
Kind of, yeah. Requiem for a Dream or
Yeah,
something.
that's
like
the
that.
one.
So yeah.
Oh,
basically,
gross.
It's kind of like similar to like a freebasing technique. It's not the best looking thing. So what in the industry, what's kind of happened through
So there's an apparatus to substantiate this, probably, so that you're
Oh,
not
for sure.
just bending a spoon. And
Oh no, yeah. So actually, right now, you take like a regular like a glass bong, and you have like a little it's called a quartz nail. Instead of like putting a bowl in there, you put a little quartz nail in there. It looks like a little spout with a little cup on it. You heat the cup up very hot with like a torch, and then you let it cool down a little bit. Then you put the concentrate onto the cup and inhale through the piece, through the glass, and it kind of
effing way that little pen could ever compete with that.
No,
but I don't know that we needed to.
No, but you're putting the same stuff on. The pen is basically the same material that you've been putting in, through dabbing.
But like you said, the delivery method.
It's just the delivery doesn't get it there. I've only had a couple pens where it's ever actually felt like that was as heavy as me taking a straight dab and then like smoking. Like I'll do both throughout the day. And then when I get home and like take a smoke my bowl with my wife, it feels different. Like just marijuana, it just feels different.
Going straight to the flower from the bowl.
Or just it's a different high. So whether you're smoking the pen, if you felt a different high, it's because it's a different high.
Yeah.
For some reason.
No, I do. I definitely. I can maintain. I can work on and yet not have back pain on like a pen.
Yeah.
Hitting it every once in a while, like just throughout the day. But I wouldn't be able to do any of this stuff if I was smoking off her hookah thing.
Yeah. Wow, I cannot function without a little bit of that in the morning, and then the pen is good for maintenance because then I can it locks onto that somehow and lets me maintain that, and then
It's funny. It makes a lot of sense. My parents are actually the same way. My dad, if he touches oil at all, he's useless.
Really?
But my mom is like high functioning, but she touches flour and she's like fully relaxed on the couch. The exact opposite.
So it is. It's just people's chemistry and whatever.
How they
depends on what planet we're all from.
Traditionally, like the oil should hit you harder. It's a higher concentrate. You're taking a higher dosage.
Interesting.
But at the same time, I know guys who dab all day long and are very high functioning. But you put flowers in front of them and all of a sudden become kind of wastes.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
Go ahead. You got something else? I mean, we're over the hour, but I want to.
No, I honestly, I just wanted to hear like about the dosing because like ultimately I'm going to do what I need to do because
that's what you really should do.
But I was curious what the boundaries of it are, like where people function well.
No, it's interesting. I'm seeing a lot of, besides what I was talking about, like the actual doses, I'm actually seeing other companies too who are, instead of selling you like a strain, or instead of selling like Granddaddy Purple, they're selling you the effect, saying this is going to be a calming effect, or this is going to be a relaxing effect, this is going to be a sleep effect.
That makes much more sense to me.
From a branding purpose, it's brilliant. And then actually from like a consumer point, like the education is hard sometimes with customers. Going to translate some nonsensical name into a feeling of like medicinal feeling is pretty hard.
Also, the more words used, the more it can be misconstrued, and the more the telephone game happens. And then by the time what you actually meant to be written on the box, and the guy says to the customer what they heard.
Not to mention, every shop is messing with names. Before July 1st, and shops really had to go uniform, we were all messing with names. So you come into one shop and you get X1 at this shop. You come to my shop, I need X1. Well, here's my X1. This is not the same X1. And it's like, well, crap.
There was one shop we went to that went through a phase where they named strains after comedians, and I felt really lucky that I knew who they all were. But like there was people in line behind me that were like, what's an Amy Schumer? And I'm like, they have nothing to associate it with. It's going to be hard to...
It's good for that branding, for that point, but like for the actual industry, it's like the reason we have trademarks is to protect brands and to protect products, to protect the consumer also. So when you go into a store and you see Coca-Cola, it's Coke and it's safe, as compared to some other brand just ripping it off and giving you something that's unsafe.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's, as much as it sucks coming from the cannabis, the cannabis non-policing world into the corporate world, it's going to be better for everybody in the long run through safety and accessibility.
So it's just growing pains right now. It's like it's a whole new frontier. We're figuring it out.
You have a lot of people who are involved for a very long time who are not comfortable. A lot of the families up in Northern California who made a living for generations who cultivating are out. And they're bitter about it, but because they didn't see they saw the writing on the wall and they fought it, or they didn't know how to adapt. But the fact is that was only good for them. It wasn't good for everybody else. That was good for them, and now this seems better for everybody else.
Interesting.
The corporations still get their money, but
yeah, other people can play.
I mean, if we want it, that's how the system works. It has to be that way.
We're talking about this in the same day. We're talking about this gigantic, criminal law reformation bill going through.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. There's a giant bill that got passed today. Basically, Democrats and Republicans coming together to reform criminal statutes.
Oh.
And to change sentencing laws, mandatory minimums going down, judges having discretion, because this is all part of the same thing. Like, like the fact that we're talking about this, there's people actually serving jail time, in Michigan for this is bullshit.
It's crazy.
It's still in Nevada. That kills me.
Yeah.
People in there for life, some of them for
That's
offenses
nuts.
that is something that's not even illegal anymore.
No,
It really, that blows my mind. It's one of those like, I don't want to be a guy who's like, that's my thing.
It's not your soapbox, but
it's a
it's
weird
a big...
one that's just like, it's so unrighteous that I'm like, fucking somebody flip that shit.
Yeah.
No, it's absolutely fucking ridiculous. You have people who are serving, time, who basically whose lives are ruined over a joint, over something that like, and of course a lot of it has to do with, where you live, what you look like, how much money you have.
Tremendous amount has to do with that.
That sucks. In fact, we're sitting here in California. There's pot millionaires in California, pot billionaires in California.
Billionaires in California.
And there's people serving time in these, podunk, redneck states or something like that, and then fly over country because he has some stupid ass sheriff who's like, I don't like pot. It leads to heroin. And it's like, no, it doesn't.
Yeah, gateway drug.
Yeah,
you bet. Nancy Reagan.
It's like your boring ass life in this place leads to heroin.
Yeah.
Like your pills.
I think between George Herbert Walker passing away and just the fact that America's great again, a lot of Reagan stuff has been coming up lately, and I think especially with the news and everything, but they are nonstop playing Nancy Reagan stuff and the Just Say No's and the drugs and everything. She went on Carson and Joan Rivers and the whole bit, and it's just such a they were Hollywood saying drugs are bad. Now we're Hollywood saying like, you're crazy. I mean, maybe drugs are bad. Okay, I'm not,
do what you
but
want.
This particular one like could be really fucking good.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing. I'm pretty sure in the end of this, when they actually get the research done in like 20 years, we look back and go, what the fuck were we doing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, besides
we
the
were
money,
depriving
like,
people of the magic medicine that has fixed the planet.
I'm just like this whole like devil plant thing, all this crazy like branding against it. It's just, it's been race-based for so long, and it's been, so much of it's, it's been trudged in some of this, bullshit systematic, things we do here in America.
Do you think the pot plant is extraterrestrial? You know what I mean? That's one of the theories out there.
It helps me feel that way.
It does. Me too. It helps me get through the day going, oh, man, if that's true, we have a chance.
So, I look at it right now. I look at guys like John Boehner, former Speaker of the House, and all these Republicans jumping.
He got out just in time.
And it's
you
like,
mean?
well, they're jumping on the whole.
John,
like,
I'm
pot,
out, Boehner.
They're jumping on the whole pot thing now, and I'm sitting there and I'm laughing. And I'm like, I'm glad they're doing it because it's going to bring, if the Republicans are coming around to it, we're on the verge of this. Whole thing
Oh, it'll
being
happen.
over.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, damn, that's not there. This is ours. And like, this is not theirs. Like, come on, Democrats, grab this issue and actually run with it. Like,
So funny.
I've let go of any hope that the Democrats are going to stand up to do their thing. So as long as it's out there for everyone to enjoy, like, however it happens.
Get it out there. That's the thing, that the farm bill with the CBD passing is really going to open up a lot of stuff. It's actually going to push the THC legalization as well, because it's just a stigma. Once the stigma goes away, when people realize, oh wait, CBD is the same plant as THC, it will limit the stigma. Because my grandma smokes weed, her friends smoke weed. Everybody in leisure world now knows somebody who smokes weed. All of a sudden, they don't vote against it anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
It just takes time, a little bit of time. But once the stigma goes away and like, oh, it's part of your life, it crumbles so quickly.
Here's the thing: Jeff Sessions is going to get a bad back at some point.
Yeah.
Right. And somebody's going to slip him a little bit of something, and he's going to be like, "Damn."
Like,
And it's legal someplace.
I hope he never enjoys it. I hope he never gets to enjoy it.
I know, you know what I'm saying. He wasn't the guy who was like the most against it forever.
Yeah. Well, I think people don't realize the proposed Attorney General is not a friend either. He comes from the old Reagan-Bush administration.
Luckily, he won't be there long. Who cares?
People are finding
I mean?
ways, thankfully, to do what they need to do. So that's what I
just
love
mean in
that
general,
you guys
I mean-
are doing,
Yeah.
and expanding opening everyone's eyes to like other things.
This was a neat conversation today to have so casually. It was nice. I feel. I don't know. I got something out of it. I hope.
I gotta I appreciate the lessening of the stigma, because that's something I fight myself on all the time. Of like, is it fine? Is it
She's always
medicinal?
worried about normal. She's always worried about normal.
I'm the same way. One of the reasons I started smoking oil instead of pot is because I don't want to smell like this going to meetings.
Oh.
I'm like, I don't want to walk into meetings.
Smell like this. You don't smell.
Well, I haven't smoked yet. I haven't smoked yet. I smoked home and changed my shirt before I came. No, it's the stigma, and it's now I'm not worried about it anymore. Years ago, I'd go into meetings and I was afraid I'd lose clients.
Slide it over to you.
I was afraid I'd lose clients, and now it's actually like they expect me to.
Yeah.
So
well, that's pretty
it works
funny.
out. Yeah.
I mean, it's what you do for a living. It's almost like if you don't, then you're not working, in a weird way.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you should be, but I mean,
it helps me work. So there you go.
Oh my gosh. You're awesome. Thanks for coming in and
Thank you so
for
much.
meeting
This was awesome.
with us. I would love to keep in touch with you and keep tabs on what you're doing. I want to find out how we can sponsor. Is it at a level where they can do sponsorships?
Oh, absolutely.
Because we were trying to think, like, we should try to get like at least those cartridges or something sponsored.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean,
like
with the
my
show
new
and stuff.
agenda is like talking to people about it because it's so stigmatized, and I'm fine. Like I'm the guinea pig. Like I'm the first one to say like I have my own shit with it. So like let's talk about it together. Let's figure this out because you can feel so much better. And like people's parents have told me, like people like friends that were not into it at all. So I see that as a personal plate of like.
I was really surprised in the VW world. Everybody smokes weed. You go to a show and I smell weed everywhere. at the Porsche shows, I thought we had all those uptight guys. I see pens all the time. I see all these guys pulling pens out of their pockets. All these guys, and all of a sudden I get phone calls. Hey Matt, this guy wants to talk to you. Matt, this guy wants to talk to you. I have so many investors who want to go into this industry now. And it's everybody's involved. The stigma's gone. It's it's either money or it's health. One of the things is drawing somebody to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Good for you.
yeah.
Seriously, now I want to know how I can be involved.
Yeah.
Viva the weed! All right, Mrs. Ryan. Let's see. What do we got here? Tomorrow, Marco Gerasi from TLG will be here. That's going to be fun. I think Steve's going to be in the house too. I'm not sure.
Cool.
I don't know. I know they talked about it. I'm not sure. But that's going to be really fun. So we'll figure out what's going on with Yellow Car and everything that's going on over at TLG and all the Porsche stuff. They're trying to clear things out for the holiday. You know what I mean? To actually have a nice family vacation for everybody. So, because Steve just had a baby too, like a couple months ago. Yeah.
Oh, so, congrats, Steve.
That's what's going on tomorrow. Love you, Mrs. Ryan. We love you, buddy.
Thank you.
So glad
guys. Thank you so much.
Love you all at home. Good night, everybody. Love one another.
Bye, guys.
Oh yeah.